After 8 years of this Prime Minister and his NDP Liberal government, we're starting to see the hard reality that inflation is the price you pay for all of the programs the government told you were free. Remember, the Prime Minister said he could double the debt, but don't worry, the budget would balance itself. He said that interest rates were low, so not only were deficits permanently affordable, we couldn't afford not to spend. Well, here we are with the devastating human consequences not so long after that, because, as Pythagoras says, numbers rule the universe. No matter how many words are spoken, no matter how many soft lullabies are sung, the reality is that when you spend what you don't have, you drive up the cost for everyone else. And here we are, the cost of government has driven up the cost of living. $500 billion of inflationary debt has bid up the goods we buy and the interest we pay. According to former Liberal Finance Minister John Manley, the government spending is pressing its foot on the inflationary gas pedal, which forces the Bank of Canada to press on the brakes with higher interest rates. And now I bump into people across Canada who are living in financial terror. A shipyard worker in Vancouver told me that his monthly mortgage payment is now $7,500. He's a shipyard worker, Mr. Speaker. 4,000 of the 750, of the 7,500, 4,000 is just for interest. His family is spending basically 50 grand a year on interest for their mortgage. This after the Prime Minister, his budget documents, and his bank governor told that man that rates would stay low. You'd think the government would reverse its policies, but they're doing the opposite.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is probably one of the best and most efficient takedowns of a liberal media journalist that I've ever seen from a conservative. And the reason why I'm saying conservative in quotes is because we're not talking about an American conservative. We're talking about a Canadian conservative, a conservative leader by the name of Pierre Poilievre, who is the leader of the opposition party to Trudeau's left-wing government, right? The Liberals. And polling in Canada indicates that more people seem to support the Conservative Party than the Liberal Party, and the tides are turning in Canada, okay? At least that's the hope. So, without further ado, I actually want to play this clip of Pierre Poilievre basically dismantling this reporter in a way that I've never seen before, and it is absolutely glorious because he's doing it all while eating an apple, right? Which, again, makes it even more fascinating and entertaining. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it.
Okay. On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological thing.
I never really talk about left or right.
Anyways, I
don't really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
like who?
I don't know who, but
well, you're the one who asked the question, so yeah. You must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me the page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not sure. I don't know what your question is.
Okay, then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Yeah. So before he gets into this is so hilarious to me, right? This is so funny to me because the left-wing reporter, he's simply just talking in talking points, right? He's just repeating what he's been told, right? Oh, well, say he's a populist, right? Say that he's taking a page out of Trump's playbook. Well, Pierre Poilievre, he doesn't even have to really respond except just asking the left-wing journalist, well, what do you mean, right? What are you talking about? Give me an example, right? What exactly are you saying? What do you mean when you try to say that, I'm trying to be a populist, right? Or that I'm taking a page out of Trump's playbook. And the liberal journalist goes into an absolute word salad, right? He has no clue how to respond because, again, he's just repeating what he's been told. He's repeating talking points. He doesn't have a full understanding of how or why or what it means to say that Pierre Poilievre is taking a page out of Trump's playbook. That's why he can't say anything, right? That's why he can't respond because he doesn't know what to say. He hasn't actually thought about any of these things before asking Pierre Poilievre these questions, trying to get him, right, and trying to paint him as some type of extremist, right? And again, he responds in like the best way that you can, which is just to expose the liberal journalist as nothing but a propagandist spewing canned talking points that have been fed to him instead of actually thinking with his own brain about what he's saying and the questions that he's asking. Again, this was probably the best thing I've ever seen, okay, in regards to taking down a liberal reporter. This is amazing.
Common sense. Okay. Common sense for a change. We're going to make common sense common in this country. We don't have any common sense in the current government.
Facts, right? Facts, okay? Again, I'm not Canadian, but given what is going on here in the United States and the fact that I believe that we're headed in the direction of Canada and Europe, I mean, we follow right along behind them, right, on certain things. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he's right, okay? Common sense ain't that common in Canada, and it ain't probably all that common in the United States or Europe or anywhere in the West, and that's a problem, right? It's a huge problem.
The guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again? You want to be able to afford rent? Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I'm the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck. Second, I'm going to make work pay. Right now we punish work. They're asking, why doesn't anybody want to work? Because work doesn't pay. Why would you work when you get punished for working? Our country now punishes work. You make it, Trudeau takes it. I'm going to cut taxes so people bring home more of each dollar they earn. Housing. We have the fewest houses per capita in the G7. Why? Too much bureaucracy. We have the land. We have more land than any other country in the G7. Yet why do we have the fewest houses per capita? Because you can't get anything built. I'm going to require cities boost home building by 15% per year, or they're going to lose federal money. But those that beat my target will get a bonus. So we reward good behavior and punish bad. That's common sense too. We're also going to bring home safe streets. People are going to feel safe in Kelowna. Kelowna is the worst crime in all of Canada after 8 years of Trudeau and Singh. And I'm going to get rid of I'm going to bring in jail and not bail for repeat violent offenders, treatment and not decriminalize crack to bring our loved ones home drug-free. And we're going to secure the borders to keep illegal guns out while protecting the rights of lawful, licensed hunters and sport shooters.
Going back to the
facts. Facts. Again, I didn't hear anything there that I really disagree with. Now, when it comes to the housing stuff, I'm not that educated on what's going on in Canada, so I can't really, talk too much about what his plan would be for expanding housing. But everything else, right, cutting taxes, rolling back on regulation, stopping this excessive spending, I 100% agree with. Safety, right, cleaning up crime. This is all common sense stuff. But unfortunately, in the West, right, including America and Canada, it ain't that common, okay? And this is why we're in the position that we're in. Again, this guy was literally warning about what would happen when these governments started printing all this money back in 2020, right? He was warning, he was like, yo, this is going to cause massive inflation, right? You had some of the banks in Canada talk about, no, bro. It's actually going to cause deflation. You're not going to have inflation. You're going to have deflation, which again is just ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. So again, I really hope that Canada gets their ish together and elects this guy, because it seems to me that he's their best option, right? So, again, I just found this this interview to be pretty fascinating and his responses to this guy to be absolutely hilarious and very well done. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.